all of us have heard many different things about Mashiach. I think the series that we have is a little bit different than most. The most discussions about Mashiach, because we're talking about the reality of the situation versus the illusion that many people have today, whether they be religious or secular. Many people think that if Mashiach, they say, "BeEzrat HaShem, Mashiach come, today, tomorrow." You sometimes see these trucks from different organizations, scream Mashiach now, and many times people, end off either their speeches or their writings about, may Mashiach come today. And yes, that's all true, and part of our Ikarei Emunah, the foundations of our belief, our 13 principles of faith, is that you have to believe that the Mashiach can come in any day, including tomorrow. And the Chachamim say, wait a minute, but there's a prophecy in the prophets that Eliyahu Navi must come 3 days before Mashiach. So how could it be that Mashiach can come tomorrow if Eliyahu Navi has to come 3 days beforehand? So that means at least minimum it should be 3 days from now. So Chachamim discuss it in a few places, and they say no, it's not necessarily a law that Eliyahu Navi must come 3 days before, but rather the law is that he has to come at the time of Mashiach, meaning that the Mashiach and Eliyahu Navi can come at the same time. One day you have, okay, Mashiach's here, Eliyahu Navi is introducing him. Here you go, Rabotai, is Mashiach. That's it, finished. Now, if that was it, all of us would probably start putting some posters on our own cars, say Mashiach now, if that was it. If somebody can just show up one day and fix all of our problems, pay all of our debt, fix all of our marriages, fix all of our different mental issues, drug issues, all types of problems that people have, because people think that Mashiach is like Social Security Office, welfare, and some other government division that hasn't been born yet. People think he's going to fix everybody's problems. So if that was it, we'd all cheer, oh, Mashiach now. But the truth is, if you look at it in the Gemara, Masechet Sanhedrin, the Chachamim, the greatest Chachamim we ever had, was scared to death to live at the time of Mashiach. Why? Because there is a prophecy in Sefer Yechezkel, chapter 38, Sefer Zechariah, chapter 14, and also in Yeshaya, and several other places, that before Mashiach comes, there's going to be a birth pangs, meaning a lot of pain that will happen in the world, including for Am Yisrael, that will precede the actual arrival of Mashiach, and even at the time of Mashiach itself, where there will be a major war. And one of the things that confused many is that in one place it says that Edom, and Ishmael are going to go to war. And then, after they go to war and destroy each other, they're going to stop, and they're going to realize, wait a minute, it's all of Israel's fault. And both of them together are going to attack Eretz Yisrael. And in one case, it says that Ishmael is going to take over Israel for 9 months. Meaning, Hashem Yishmor v'yatzil, Israel will be under the control of the Arabs for 9 months. But in another case, Chachamim say that Ishmael will take control of Israel from Edom. If you look at society today, Baruch Hashem, Israel is not run by Edom, or at least that's what we think. So what's the Havana here? What we understand here is that before Ishmael takes over, Israel takes control for 9 months, Edom will take control for a year. The Christians will take over Israel for a year. Now, if you were to say this 15, 20 years ago, with the situation being what it was, people would say, no, why? We have freedom, we're friends with the Americans, there's no reason for us to fear that they're going to take over. But today, seeing the streets of Israel full of missionaries, Christian missionaries, breaking the law, but in the open, without a care in the world, because apparently a few people are getting paid to allow the Christians to break the law freely. Imagine somebody gave you a ticket that nobody knew about, but you knew about it and no one can do anything about it, to pretty much break the law and do whatever you want. You could rob a bank, you could kill people, you could do whatever you want. Imagine such a ticket. The whole world will turn into tohu vavohu. Well, that's actually what's happening in Israel, where the Christians, for the first time in history, are missionizing in the streets of Eretz Israel openly. Openly. And it's, according to the Constitution, it's illegal. According to the Israeli Constitution, it's illegal for Christians to missionize. But they're opening churches left and right. They're missionizing left and right. They even had a Christian missionary TV station for a little bit until they got shut down. God only knows what will happen, if it'll go back or not, depending on how much money is involved apparently, but it was a big contract. But the point is that you have many organizations, Christian missionary organizations, being born and bred in Israel by Israelis as we speak. Unfortunately, this is hurting the Jewish world in a very big way, but it's not really paid enough attention. Because most of the secular people either care less, or some of them are looking for a way out of Jewish religion altogether. So Christianity is a good fit for some of them, because they don't know anything about the Torah. So they figure, listen, I can feel religious but do nothing anyway, which is what Christianity is. You feel religious but you do nothing. So for the secular people, you can't really expect them to defend Judaism. And for the religious people, unfortunately the religious people are in a coma, in a spiritual coma, when it comes to doing any type of anti-missionary or even kiruv altogether. Many of them simply careless about it. Of course, there are many that do care, which is how, Baruch HaShem, we and many other organizations are able to continue with their donations and support and so on, but it's a relatively minor amount of them, a small minority of them that actually care enough about helping Am Yisrael do TeShuva, because many of them feel like, listen, they're not, the secular people are not doing TeShuva because they don't want to, not because they're ignorant. And the religious people that are off the derech, okay, they chose otherwise. There's nothing you can do. It's almost like they figure like everybody to each their own. So now that you have a attack on the primary target, which is Israel, by Edom, by the Christians, you can see how this could culminate to a desire for total control. Because the war at the end is not going to be a war for money. It's not going to be a war for just territory. It's going to be a spiritual war. It's going to be, based on religion. It's a religious war. So that's the big thing. None of the trucks driving in the street saying MaShiach now are showing you pictures of Gog Magog or anything. None of them are showing you that there's going to be some spiritual war between the Christians and the Jews and the Arabs. None of them are showing you that. And the reason why is because some people are ignorant of it, and some people are choosing to remain ignorant of it, thinking that since we already went through the Holocaust, Gog Magog is already behind us. But no Gadol's opinion is that. Not a single Gadol, not a single sage in the last 100 years almost has said that the Holocaust was Gog Magog. In fact, many that have discussed the Gog Magog in the last few hundred years had clear Ruach HaKodesh, near prophecy, when they discussed it, when they said that Gog Magog will be a three-part war. A three-part war, I believe 3 or 4, three-part war. And we see, in essence, how World War I, World War II, and unfortunately, what's coming.
B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh v'Natzliach, we're very excited to offer you the new BeEzrat HaShem app 3.0. It's a newer, faster app, full of Torah, lots of Kedusha by the Shiurim that we do, myself, Rabbi Efraim, Rav Chaim, where you'll have also newer features where you're able to use the app while you're using other applications on your phone. You'll be able to share the lectures directly from the app. You'll be able to donate online and support our Cube and our Torah work that we're doing. And the most exciting feature is that you'll be able to actually ask questions directly on the app and get answers from the rabbis directly from the app. This is something unprecedented, and Baruch Hashem will be able to offer it. Thank you again for all of your support. Check it out. Make sure you have the kosher Torah that will re-energize your neshama each and every single day. Call to B'chava Tzlacha.